love. Bump a ba bump a ba. All you need is love. Na 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 na. All you need is love. Ba ba da da da. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all... Hey, how you doing, huh? I'm FrankieG, the cooking cowboy. And I know there's probably two questions you're asking yourself right about now. Question one, man, and he can sing too? Hey, sometimes life's not fair. And question two, why is FrankieG, the cooking cowboy, singing about love? Well, because Valentine's Day is here and it's time to make something special for that significant other. So, what are we going to be making today? Baked apple roses. So let's go take a look at the ingredients we're going to need for that. So what we're going to need is apples, of course. We're going to need some white sugar, some ground cinnamon, some puff pastry, which I've thawed out, some melted butter, some eggs, some water, and some confectioner's sugar. So the first thing you're going to want to do is want to get that oven set for 400 degrees and get that butter melted. So let's get started. Get a little bit of light on the subject too, huh? So I want to take the butter, which has been a little bit pre-softened, and get it in the pot, get it melted. So we need to get other things done at the same time. So let's get back to the island and core and slice the apples. So let's get these apples cored. Okay, so there's one. And there's two. So we've got the butter melted. Let's get it off the heat. Let's continue on with the apples. So you want to slice these apples very thin, so you're going to need a very sharp knife. So just be careful what you're doing here. I like to cut it in half first, and then you slice it very thin from the top down. Kind of get it as thin as you can. Takes a little practice, but be very careful. It's very easy to cut yourself. Sometimes what I like to do is take my fingers and dig them into part of the apple when it gets down toward the bottom. This way I can hold on to it better. Now you've got enough apple here, so don't go crazy. You can always just get another piece. And also cut the end of it off. You don't want to use the end of it. Now you can use a variety of apples. I'm using Granny Smith because they're good for baking. The recipe actually calls for red apples because it gives that nice little top edge of red on the outside of it when it's baked. But you could do whatever you want because you're the boss. Again, when it gets to about this size, you can discard it. Get the next one. Again, slice it down the middle. Cut the end off because you don't need that. And continue on with the thin slices. So the next step is to soften them up. What we're going to do is we're going to take them, transfer them to a microwave safe plate, put them in the microwave for about a minute just to soften them a bit. So let's get it done. Again, only using the best paper. So now that we've got them on the plate, let's get them in the microwave. One minute and start. So the apples have been in the microwave for about a minute. Let's check out and see if they're soft enough. You know what? I'm going to let them go just for about another 30 seconds more since there's more apples. So now another 30 seconds have gone by. Let's check them out. Not bad. Not bad. Let's get them out of here. So what we want to do next is take the apples, cover them with some cling wrap, and put a towel over them. Let's get that done. Oh, I love cling wrap. Not. Let's set these off to the side for use in a few minutes. Let's get this put away. So now we want to deal with our puff pastry. Let's get that out. I was a little torn. I did a little research about making puff pastry, and I was very torn because I like to try to make things homemade. But after doing the due diligence as far as research goes, I ain't making it. So we're going to use Pepperidge Farm. So what you want to do is take the sheets and roll them out like a 3x12 sheet on each. Fortunately, Pepperidge Farm comes in 3-inch strips. So all we need to do is roll it out a little bit to get it to 12 inches because it's about 9 inches now. It doesn't take much. So we're looking about that long. Now I've got 6 of them. See, the beauty of these is they come with flour on them. So once they're thawed out, you really don't have to throw flour down. You could just lay them down and roll them out. I'm going to get them about 1/8 of an inch thick. I'd also like to give a shout out to Chef John on all recipes. If you look up baked apple roses, you're going to want the one from Chef John. He's the guy. All right, so let's keep working here. That's 4. By the way, we're making 6 today. Five. And 6. So now we don't need this anymore. There's a couple different ways you can go about it, but it all has to come together in the end. So I want to get the ramekins prepared, so when I'm done rolling these up, they go right into ramekins and into the oven. So what you want to do is you want to get that melted butter, put it inside all the ramekins, and then sprinkle it with white sugar. Don't gotta go crazy, just gotta get her done. So now that we've got them buttered, sprinkle some white sugar inside each one. So they're all done, ready to go. So the next step is we want to paint our puff pastry with the melted butter. Like an assembly line, right? So now that we got the pastry sheets buttered, the next step is to combine the cinnamon and the sugar and put that on liberally onto the pastry puffs. I already have mine pre-mixed. Don't be shy, because if you are, you're bashful, you come in last. So the next step is to take the apples and put them on a dough about a 1/4 inch down with the rounded part sticking on the outside, like so. And when you do that, you want to fold them in half. So let me give you a little bit of background about myself while I'm doing this. When I was in high school, I took a satellite course. In other words, I went to my regular school a half day, and then we got bussed out, a bunch of us, to another school in another town where we learned a trade. Well, I took commercial baking. So when I graduated, a couple months later, I ended up joining the Navy. But baking was always been my roots, you know. I guess you can consider calling me a master baker. Now, if you have a little extra, you can get rid of them. You can do whatever you want. I don't need them, so I'm getting rid of them. Now, once we get it all folded up, the next step is to put some more melted butter on it. And if by chance you take too long and the butter starts to solidify, put it back on the stove and warm it up for a minute or so. Very simple recipe, but you're going to love this. You know, I did a little research, and the 2 most gifts that are given out to significant others are flowers and candy or sweets. And so this is simply going to take care of the best of both worlds. So now that we've got that done, we want to add a little more cinnamon sugar on there. So the next step is to take the eggs and combine it with the water, mix it up good, and make an egg wash. Oh, I'm a pro, huh? Maybe I should have used a bigger cup. Okay, now that we've got that mixed, put that off on the side. And you want to take these and you're going to want to roll them up into a ball, put them in the ramekins after they're egg washed. So simply put, just roll it up. And then they're going to look something like this. So we take our egg wash, egg wash the outside of it. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, huh? And you want to place it in the ramekin. You want to spread them out a little bit. Look at that, huh? Beautiful. There's one. Just roll them up. You don't want to do it too tight because then it just won't fit inside the ramekin. And after you get it inside the ramekin, make sure you spread it out just a little bit. So once we get them all in the ramekins, you just want to sprinkle a little more cinnamon sugar over the top. Like so. You really can't overdo it with this stuff. So when that's all done, next thing you want to do is just get them in the oven for about 45 minutes. Again, the oven is preset for 400 degrees. Let's get them in the oven. Now, if you haven't noticed, I'm going right onto the oven rack, nothing below them. So now we've got them all in the oven. It's set for 400 degrees. The timer's on 45 minutes. So while that's happening, it's time for me to clean up this mess so we can bring out the finished product when it's done. See you in a little bit. Okay, so it's been 45 minutes. Let's get these beautiful roses out of the oven, onto the cutting board, and let them cool down for about 5 or 10 minutes before we go on to the next step. Okay, so now we've got them out of the oven. Look how beautiful they look, huh? What we're gonna do is we're gonna let them sit for about 5 or 10 minutes, remove them from the ramekins, and then gonna let them cool down completely before we put the powdered sugar on them. And then we'll take a taste and see how they came out. All right, see you in 10 minutes. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes. So now what I wanna do is get them out of the ramekins, and then we're gonna let them sit till they cool. So what you wanna do is get a butter knife, go around the edges. See, they're already loose. As you can see, be very careful because it's still hot. Just make sure that they all move around. And once you get to that point, then you just want to get them out of there. 1, 2, mucho caliente, huh? 3, 4, 5, and 6. Take a look at those beautiful roses, huh? So now that I've got them all out of the ramekins, we want to let them cool down completely. So when we're done with that, what we're going to do is we're going to put some powdered sugar over the top, and then we're going to try them out. So I'll see you in a little bit. We're finally done with letting them cool off. Now we get to the final piece de resistance. We're gonna add a little bit of powdered sugar on the top. And they're ready to go. You just want to sprinkle a little bit on top. You don't want to go too crazy on it. Okay, there we go. So let's get a look at what they look like. Let me get the camera and show you. They are beautiful. And now for the taste test. Wow, it all comes together. The puff pastry, the apples, the cinnamon sugar, the powdered sugar. It's just an explosion of flavor in your mouth. And not to mention how beautiful they look. So, if you're looking for a beautiful Valentine's Day gift to give your significant other, something a little different, we got flowers, we got it covered. Candy or sweets, we've got it covered. There was more, but Mrs. Greco had some, and she's waiting upstairs for me now. So, From me to you, from Frankie G, the Cooking Cowboy, have a beautiful and lovely Valentine's Day. Until next time, see you then.